he is doing something far worse by putting that time into video games than, frankly, if he put the same time and effort into sleeping around.
Overall, it's a great video, but that is a bad piece of advice. Hello, humans, and welcome to another episode of Gen X Gamer. Guys, loving video games, huh? Well, I like watching bas-le-ciel's channel. He tackles many different subjects that I am particularly interested in. And also watch him because I love his delivery. The preparation of his videos is something that I aspire to. Now, in life, there are very few things that I would be more familiar with regarding experience and travel and even in an educational level, that I would have more experience than a bas-le-ciel. But one that I know probably for sure I do is dating. And it's not because I'm an expert, it's just the number of years that I was single, right? And that gave me a plethora of experiences, both good and bad. And let me tell you this, his advice about the 5 hours spent playing video games or cheating on your girlfriend, it would be better to cheat on your girlfriend. No, it would not. That's just a general statement. Probably he's never dated a Cuban woman before. He's never dated a Venezuelan, a Colombian, a Latin American girl, or a girl from Iran, for example, or a girl from the Philippines. More than once, I found myself at the other side of a blade. I'm not an expert in relationships. I have a lot of experience with toxic ones. And let me tell you, you would be better off playing the video game if you dated any of these women that I've dated in the past. So take that particular section of the video with a grain of salt. But in general, he does make a great point. Now, we all handle our relationships different, and I know that many people that play video games don't necessarily have relationships or good relationships or aspire to have them because of their love of video games sometimes. Let me tell you, I love video games, but I love women more. I do, right? But for that reason, you have to keep a balance, and life is about balances, right? And I know how ridiculous it is, to try to tell you something about self-control while I'm sitting in front of thousands of games, right? But the fact is, I don't spend hours and hours playing these games. I don't. These are mostly decorations for my room, right? But there are things you can do in a relationship and still, right? Still have enough time to play video games in a productive manner, right? There's playing games unproductively. If you're playing games over everything else, right? If you play more games than you educate yourself, if you play more games that you spend working, if you play more games that you dedicate time to relationship, you probably have an unbalanced life. That's just the way it works. How do I use video games, right? And this is just me, guys. Let me tell you, the Asian princess has no interest whatsoever in video games or YouTube or any of this stuff. And she didn't even have interest in me when I first talked to her. Believe it or not, she wasn't convinced by the rugged looks. It's not something she was interested in at all. That she would say publicly anyway. Afterwards, she said she did find the beard attractive. So I try to keep it up every time I shave. She does not like that. But anyway, guys, I spend time with her outside of video games. When do I play video games around her? When she has no interest? When we go shopping, for example. If you're out there shopping with your lady and she likes taking her time, right? And she likes being with you. Because one thing about women in general that I've found, and this is not, it doesn't apply to all women, just the relationships that I've had, yeah, some of them were relationships. They enjoy shopping with you, or just enjoy your company. They don't really want your advice on what to shop. They don't want your input. They just want you in the vicinity, right? And for those reasons, that's when I take my Switch, when I take my Backbone, and I just lay in the background, and there is no problem, right? I go into an RPG and I sit there and play, right? Now, are there gaming nights? Are there things that she enjoys watching me play? Once in a while, yes, right? Something like Persona, for example, where there's a storyline and we're just sitting there and relaxing, right? And that's something I could do for an hour or so. She enjoys movies, she enjoys, having dinner, those type of things. But we do make time to spend together, very few times when it comes to video games. But you need to have a balanced life. But what do I do to make that time more special and have her enjoy it, right? And this is a tip I'm giving to you. Now, I'm not talking about you want to pick somebody up. I'm not talking about getting somebody at a bar, getting them to your place and showing them video games. That usually is not going to work out, right? But if you have somebody special, right? You have somebody that you have identified already as special, and you want to bring over to your home. Maybe she wants to see what the games are all about. Yeah, you know what? I recommend the Wii. I really do. And I'll tell you why. Because everybody loves bowling. Those are the type of games, quick pick up and go games that you can play together where you don't have to explain anything. Those are games for casual people. Regardless, there are things that you can do on your gaming night, on a gaming date with your girlfriend, with your significant other, that can make the evening memorable, right? And it's not only about the games you pick, which should be pick up and play games, which in general should be most of the games you play, because if you want to have a well-balanced life, you need to spend time doing other things, improving yourself as a human being. Because as they say, the man who knows everything learns nothing, right? And I can tell you that no matter how much I learn about any particular subject, the only thing that makes me feel is that I really know nothing, right? Like Socrates used to say, and that I need to learn even more, right? And that thought right there was something that did attract the Asian princess. You know what also attracted the Asian princess is cooking. Believe it or not. If you're interested in somebody, the best thing that you can do is not spend money on them, but spend time, spend the effort to do something that most people would not do. Any man can spend money on dinner, right? Very few men will cook the dinner and make something memorable, right? I can tell you this, I've had people return just for breakfast. And I know it seems overwhelming to many of you gamers out there to learn how to cook an entire meal, and you don't have to. Learn to do one thing. If there's chicken wings, if she's a vegetarian or a vegan, make her a stuffed mushroom, right? Pick one thing that you can make really well, and I mean restaurant quality. It could be anything, but it's something that they like and something that you know that they like. And that will really push the evening forward. And not only that, it'll make the evening memorable to them, especially, and I'm specifically talking about when you have somebody that you've identified that you want to have a relationship with. You don't have to let games overwhelm your life, right? They can have a place, right? But it's up to you to have the discipline.
Well, guys, I'm going to put a link to the video, right? Because you need to listen in full context to it, right? Because there's other great points that he makes on there. But let me tell you this. Trigger warning, if you're a person that spends hours and hours playing video games, you're going to hear the opposing point of view, right? And I'm a kind of person that I want to hear every point of view and make my decisions based on that, right? There's also a lot of subjects that he touches that I'm interested in. So So if that's your cup of tea, go ahead and check them out. And guys, if you take anything away from this video, it's this. You can play video games for 5 hours and your lady might be very, very upset, right? But she will never pull out a knife on you for playing for 5 hours. But she may do it if you cheat for 5. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.
New videos every Monday and Sunday. Thank you for joining me on another episode of the Gen X Gamer. Remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell, and remember, never ever be afraid to be happy. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care.